All right, so pal, what's your brutally honest thoughts on Sasha Banks making her debut, presumably in AEW, in front of 3,000 fans at the TD Garden?
You didn't even mention we were going to discuss this, first off. Okay, I just want to say for our listeners, firstly, hello. Hope you're doing well. We only, before we start recording this, mentioned the press conference, the WrestleMania kickoff, Rock, Cody, and Kevin's going to ask me that to kick off our little show here. How do I feel about that? I don't think Sasha's making a good career move. That's just going to be her debuting in AEW. If that's just what we all think it is, and it's just another version of CM Punk's first dance, pal, where it's clearly obvious that 5 weeks out, this is what they're doing. I don't know why she'd want to go to AEW, considering what WWE are doing with their women, but it's her life, pal. I'm not going to judge her, but it's odd. What do you think?
Well, I assume she tried to big bro Triple H and was like, "I want Charlotte Flair money," and he was like, "No, sorry." And then Tony Khan was like, "Yeah, I'll give you Charlotte Flair money plus more. Plus, I'll make you the biggest star." So she's getting the superstar treatment, right? She's getting the first dance, as you say. AEW, they're doing the TD Garden. They're going to try to pack out whatever 15,000 people in the basketball arena in Boston, Sasha's hometown, a la what they did with CM Punk at the United Center.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that she's that big of a star. I don't see it. Like, I don't think 15,000 people are going to go into TD Garden cheering on Sasha Banks. Like, I think she's been largely overvalued in terms of her mainstream appeal, and that's by all fans. Like that, I've heard this in the media. People are like, "Oh, Sasha Banks is like top 3 or 4 of the biggest names that come from wrestling in the 2010s." I'm like, I don't know. I don't think we're watching the same product. Like, I don't think I'm watching the same product. Like, I get it. There's like, for the culture, she's very important for the culture. That's undeniable, and she's Snoop Dogg's cousin and all that. I just don't think she has the drawing power that a CM Punk has. Like, I think there's levels to it, and there's CM Punk is here, with Roman Reigns, The Rock, John Cena. There's that echelon of wrestlers. There's maybe like Brock Lesnar's maybe there, maybe 2 other people that I'm missing, but there's not very few people in that tier. And then there's the next tier: Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, guys like that that everybody grew up with and knows, and they're like, wait, they're still wrestling. There's those guys and girls. And then there's like that third tier of like Seth Rollins and the current people nowadays, Becky Lynch, and then Sasha Banks. I think is there in that fourth tier.
That's fair. That's fair. And with all due respect to Sasha Banks, this will play out in coming weeks. Let's just cut to what people want to hear about.
Yes.
Let's just cut to the WrestleMania kickoff.
Yeah, hold on. Before we do that, hold on. I want to
Okay.
do like 5 minutes on Cody Rhodes merchandise. As you can see, I picked up this Cody shirt. I wanted a new wrestling shirt, and I realized that I have no Cody Rhodes shirts. And I was like, I had one when he was like in the Bullet Club. I had this really cool one that they sold at Hot Topic, and I was like, ooh, I want that. And it made me realize, one, Cody's merchandise sucks. I don't know if you've looked at Cody's merchandise store on WWEshop.com. His merchandise overall sucks. Pull it up. Like, it's not just me talking smack. I don't think his merchandise is personally that appealing. I was looking, he has like 4 or 5 pages of merchandise, maybe like 3 or 4. I know he's big merch mover. And there was like 2 or 3 shirts that I liked overall. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to buy like Cody Rhodes pajamas or slides. Like I'm not into that. I'm just a t-shirt guy when it comes to wrestling merchandise. I didn't find many of his t-shirts appealing. And I'm just thinking, like, how is this possible that Cody Rhodes, the biggest star in the company, has like, I hate to say, like, mid-tier merchandise. I was like, I want to support this guy, but there's nothing here that I want to rock. Like no disrespect to his dog. I don't want to wear a shirt with his dog painted on it. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
Are you looking at it?
Yeah, I'm looking, as you were saying, I'm looking directly at that shirt. It's interesting, the top Cody mode, when you go to Cody Rhodes' superstar page on WWE Shop, the top shirt is the one of Cody's dog. And like that weird blood smear with the American Nightmare logo, Claim Your Kingdom, which is interesting. I get what you're saying. I think personally Cody's merch, I own that, and I've worn this in some of our recordings. That like singlety top, which has just like the almost crown with the skull, the American Nightmare. I think that looks really good, genuinely. We just need, and I agree, like the one you're wearing now, I mean, what we can see on video, that part looks cool. Like that bit, that's a great shirt, I think.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite of Cody's shirts. And it's buried. I had to go all the way down to the very bottom of his merchandise page to find it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, Like there's boxers. Like boxers come up first. I'm like, bro, I'm not wearing Cody Rhodes boxers, bro. Like no. Like okay, so let me talk more about this for a second. So
Okay.
there's one. It's
Yeah.
men's 500 level Cody Rhodes t-shirt. It's literally just a picture of him,
Mm.
and he's just like popping his collar. I don't know. I mean, you think like guys like of his echelon of star, like you look at like Stone Cold. Stone Cold has like 5 t-shirts I can name right off the top of my head that are like iconic t-shirts. John
Yeah.
Cena, we could do it. The Rock, we could do it. DX, NWO. But with Cody, it's like, some shirts that are like, they're nice. But then overall, I don't know, bro. I think he needs to get with the merch department, pal. I was like, I would just this is more my personal journey trying to find it. I wanted to support this guy, but I just could not find a shirt that I was like, ooh, I like that.
No, that's fair. I think really, and this is just my own opinion here, because I'm similar to you. You want stuff that you can proudly, like, you can wear to the mall,
Yes,
and not feel like, oh, I'm gonna get side eyes because I'm wearing like a picture with like a naked wrestler on it.
right.
Because some of these, as you're mentioning, that like men's 500 level one, but those sort of shirts where like you can picture some 7-year-old kid wearing it. It's like, cool, that's
Yes,
little Timmy wearing that shirt. Good for him, and maybe that's designed especially for those sort of people. But like for like the adults, like the 25-year-olds, the 32-year-old who has a girlfriend and like a baby on the way, like something like that. What are the shirts you're really wanting to wear? Like Cody doesn't yet have that like that Austin 316, that like Brahma Bull shirt, like the Cena was sort of a bit different. He had his own sort of gimmick of shirts, which was like iconic in its own way. But there was still the 8-bits and all those sort of Cena shirts, which aged really well. Cody's ones at the moment. I mean, I own one. I think there's room for growth with the Cody merch stuff, especially right now. If you can come out with a really like awesome design, something which is just like undeniable, my moment, or like just one of like Cody, like those sort of words, and you really format it well. You can have like the American themed colors. I think that'd be great. You don't need a picture of Cody Rhodes on there naked or anything like that. You can still make a great shirt regardless. So yeah, I get your point, especially right now. Strike while the iron's hot, pal, which will lead us into the press conference in a moment because my God, after that, pal, Cody's blazing hot, pal. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is slapping people who he's, I guess, the boss of, technically. Like,
yeah, technically. Well, yeah. So let's talk about the press conference. Overall, what are your overall thoughts?
My overall thoughts is just wow. That's the first thing. I am on the whole so impressed with how they've handled this so far. Now they haven't said anything in stone yet, so maybe me saying that'll age poorly. I still have some like very personal reservations. The fact that I'm jumping on a plane to the Elimination Chamber in a week and a half, and there's still no main event. Nothing even looks remotely set yet, and that's in 2 weeks, and the show's got like nothing. I don't love that. Granted, that's because of the Punk thing, and there's the Brock situation and the Vince stuff, and there's a whole lot of extraneous variables in there. I get it. As far as the press conference goes, I was very entertained. That was one of the most entertaining wrestling segments we've seen, wrestling things generally, in God knows how long. Like that is some of like the wrestling stuff where you can show that to anyone. Like you could show that to your girlfriend, and she'd watch the whole thing. Like this is good. This is good
Yeah,
stuff.
she did.
Like
She liked it.
you get these Jack Samoan like mainstream celebrities. Cody, who's a very presentable, very believable face of your company. Rollins, who's like your A1 company guy with the other world title belt. You got the backdrop during that once they started doing a face off and they teased getting physical. Paul Levesque, triple F and H pal, is out there with his like 3 buttons undone. So he's like half shirtless, Paul Levesque with his blazer. You got Jack Nick Aldis, who's about 6'5", 280 pounds. Adam Pearce, like, Paul Heyman's there with the title. Like, this had all of it. The presentation, as everyone's saying, very UFC, very combat sports, very legitimate. I thought it was great. This wasn't just like a corny, carny WWE knockoff, which is what it could have been. We've seen similar sort of things with this. I remember they did a segment on, I think, SmackDown where for like Rey Mysterio, Logan Paul or something like a year and a bit ago, where they had, it was like Nick Aldis on SmackDown. Whoever was a SmackDown general manager, it just felt sort of fake. It felt sort of corny, like it was like a gimmicky sort of thing. This felt very legitimate. When you got The Rock out there in that black, tight little singlet top, he's wearing black. Heels wear black. That's just what they do. So I found that interesting, pal. We're both looking like heels, pal. I'm wearing black as well. Rocky's wearing that. And his promo, as everyone's saying as well, it came from the visor of that's Dwayne Johnson talking. That wasn't The Rock talking about beating your cookie puss ass, pal. That wasn't The Rock playing his shtick. He wasn't doing his eyebrow to the media section. He was like, who wants to see He wants to see The Rock beat Roman Reigns? And he was like angrily saying everyone booing. Who wants to see, or who thinks The Rock's going to lose to Roman Reigns? Everyone's like angrily booing. And The Rock's like, huh? Okay, well, here's my family tree, bitches. Look at that. Look at that history. That sells itself, doesn't it? And the fans like, we want Cody. And Cody comes out, this is BS. And I'm like, yeah, Cody.
Yes.
Kevin, that's a long-winded answer, but I loved it. That's my right-away answer. What did you think? There's a lot to digest. What were your thoughts?
I'm glad you closed off on that part of Cody Rhodes coming out saying this is BS. So that's the one thing that I was kind of like, what? Like, you came out here last week and you were like, I'm not facing you at WrestleMania. Here's The Rock. So, like, what do you mean this is BS? This was your decision, pal. You gave up your decision to The Rock. Like, why are you so mad? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, that part was a little bit iffy. That part there, with Cody having that, like, this whole angle, this feels like a pivot. This felt like an audible.
Yeah.
It felt like the real plan. Like, The Rock came in and was like, yeah, I'm just going to face Roman. And everybody's going to love that because I'm The Rock.
Yeah.
And then he was like, wait, everybody hates me. Okay, we're going to have Cody and the Roman. That made me really feel like that was the direction. And they changed it on the fly because I was like, why is Cody mad all of a sudden? Like we saw what happened on Friday. We all saw it. Like did that not happen last week? Did he not give up his WrestleMania main event to The Rock on SmackDown? Is that not what happened? Like, can you refresh my memory?
Well, that's exactly what happened. But as you know, as we saw, the reaction was so extreme. The Rock's daughter had to physically deactivate all social media because of threats from this. That's how nuts it got. We're not condoning that extent of behavior. That's egregious. But yeah, like when it comes to this, Kev, I just want to praise this as well. I loved how they did this segment. Like, this was hilarious. So Seth Rollins comes out, the absolute fourth wheel. Everyone's just trashed him the whole time, and he's standing out there with his world title, dressed like a cross-dressing woman. As Roman said, you got your wife shoes on. But yeah, Rollins is out there like, yeah, let's see who's gonna face who. Let's Rollins is like the hype man, and then out comes Roman instead of Cody. So Roman comes out. He's like, bitch. He dismisses Rollins again, and then Roman's just like, I'm the tribal chief. Acknowledge me. You know, this is my WrestleMania main event. I call the shots. I'm going to face, and The Rock comes out. So I made my decision. I'm facing The Rock. And, like, the way they did that, like, something that Roman Reigns, when he's barely showed up in a year, everyone full well knows he's only the champion still because of political chess and because at WrestleMania 39, pal, was 940 days into his run. So, therefore, everyone knows that. So, it's funny when Roman's out there cutting this big alpha macho promo. I'm facing The Rock at WrestleMania. And everyone's just like, bro, this is ridiculous. Then Cody comes out. This is bullshit. Cody's just going off. Cody's cooking, pal. It was just a fantastic segment. I love how they did this. It was just so well done, entertaining. My casual viewer friend watched this, and he was like, Paul Levesque is at the stove. So he's even using the lingo now. It's just great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we need a great explanation tonight from Cody Rhodes on why he did what he did last week. We need that needs to be explained. That can't just go untalked about. They can't just let that go untouched. We need to know why Cody did that. I mean, the angle has to be Cody was like, "Oh wait, you don't get to make the decision, pal. Like you're out here, you think you run things. No, I like." That has to be. It has to be more, like something more than that, because that's like what he said last night. Like, I make a decision, bro, but you made your decision last week, so there needs to be more on that. Go ahead.
No, and really, I think the best way to handle that. I mean, they're really blurring the reality now. Like they're mentioning The Rock in his board position. Yeah. Rollins was The best part is once Rock slaps Cody, and then it just becomes like Paul Levesque grabs Cody Runnels, and Paul Levesque trying to hold him back. The same Triple H had a cardiac event. You got Nick Aldis rushes over to Roman. Nick Aldis is holding John away. The Rock's like, sweat's flying off The Rock already, pal. Brilliant stuff. And the best way they can do it, and the thing I love most, when Rollins is like, you only do this, you're on the board. You can't do this. This is not how it works. This is a joke. This is bull crap. And you got Paul Levesque by the end of it trying to escort Rollins off the stage. Rollins, this is bull crap. You're exerting your political control. Like Rollins sounded like if I was up there.
Right.
He was saying the same things I'd be saying.
Right.
Like word for word. So from that point of view, I now feel like I connect to the Seth Rollins character more because the last year, as we know, Rollins has been fighting Fergal, fighting Nakamura. Oh, pal, Rollins had a fractured vertebrae 4 years ago. Oh, he wins against Nakamura at Fastlane, pal. And it's been like, okay, cool. But now he's yelling at Dwayne The Rock Johnson, yelling at Joanna Y. This is political. He's only got this. He's on the board. Like, it's a bit real. I like it. It's fun. Yeah, it's engaging.
Yeah, it's very enticing. I mean, this is the best thing that Rollins can be doing since Punk is hurt. How great was CM Punk as the host, bro? As soon as like Rock slapped Cody, he's like, man, Cody could have slapped his boss. What do I know about slapping people's bosses, pal? What do I know about that? And he's just like, punch him in the face, man. If it was me, I would have kept my mouth shut. Punk was going crazy, bro. Punk was like that drunk aunt at every family party that just says too much. But it was great. It was needed for sure. That was a great wrinkle. I was glad to have Punk there. I want to say this though about the overall. The Rock, Cody, Roman stuff. I think when The Rock said long game, I think where this is going now, if I can make another prediction, I have to double down. I have to say that so far, I feel like what I said last week is correct. Aside from saying that Cody and Rock would be in Cody's corner, it seems like Rock's going to be in Roman's corner. So, I do think, like, people were like, oh, The Rock went overboard. Like, why'd he get so mad when Cody mentioned Roman's grandfather, you know? And Rock's like, the way he was like, oh, you're messing with my blood, whatever. And I feel like The Rock did all that so he could get Roman on his side, you know? And then he's going to cost Roman the title somehow, some way.
Yeah.
You know? And then the way Roman was like bowing to The Rock, I thought that was interesting. That was like, where like Rock is like yelling at Triple H and Roman's just like, you're lucky we're leaving, bro. Like it's just like a little kid like following his big brother.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of what they were doing with that. So I feel like in the end, it's gonna wind up with like, I don't know how they're gonna get there. But I do think that this match at WrestleMania 40 between Cody and Roman is gonna set up Rock versus Roman next year at WrestleMania. I feel like it's the natural culmination. You've made videos about this. You were making videos about this like 2021, whatever it was. The natural culmination of this Bloodline storyline is Roman facing The Rock. And I think we're here now to tell that. Like, Rock had to be paying attention to Roman abusing the family members. That's going to come up at some point. Like, don't you think? Like, we're going to get to that point where Rock's like, look, you're treating the Usos like crap, bro. Like, Cody was right. And my grandfather would be ashamed of you if he was here. The High Chief would be ashamed of you. And so I think the character, The Rock, was overreacting like that so Roman could be like, yeah, this man's on my side. And then when it comes down to it, whenever that time comes, we're going to see The Rock turn on Roman. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is all leading up to, you know, you're 20 minutes into the WrestleMania main event. It's been back and forth. Rock's in Roman's corner, or he's like the enforcer, or they do something. And you're going to have the big moment where the referee goes down. The Rock's at ringside. He's in Roman's corner, pal. Sikoa jumps in. Jimmy Uso goes in. They're about to Samoan spike Cody. And The Rock just goes, and then the crowd like erupts, and it's like Rock's face turn, pal. And then they go crazy. The Rock hits like 3 rock bottoms on Sikoa. He throws Jimmy Uso into the 5th row. He's like swearing at him. He's like barking at Paul Heyman. Like, don't you cheat this time. And then Cody hits his like crossroads and pins Roman. And like the whole arena's, they're buzzing in Philadelphia, pal. Confetti. You've got Pharaoh the dog, pal, crying. Brandy's with John Huber's baby, pal, hugging him. Cody's like, he goes over to like whatever the new Conor the Crusher is, some, you know, bless them child who has cancer, and he's hugging them. And that's like the big moment. I think, pal, it's setting up perfectly almost now. It's going to make sense. The Rock's going to save, or he's going to stop the cheating because he sees through this. The Rock has morals, pal. And he has his family's values at heart. He's not all about this Samoan BS we've seen for the past 2 years. There's been cheating every match. Roman cheats, Jimmy Uso, Heyman, Sikoa, then Roman's off TV for 2 months. I think at the end of the day, Triple H sees through that. And as a creative mind, he's not going to allow it. That's not just going to continue. He sees what people say about it. So I agree with you. I think that they're playing long game, pal. Cody finishes the story, and then you have a year to build up the biggest WrestleMania main event where everyone then will be cheering The Rock, going, yes, good. You're the face now. We're not going to give you death threats or anything now.
Right. Yeah,
there you go.
and Roman will probably lose everything throughout the span of that story. First, Rock's going to take his title. Then he's going to take Solo and Jimmy Uso and probably get Jey Uso back on his side. And The Rock will have the faction on his side, And then it's going to be like, I mean, it seems like the perfect culmination, right? Is Roman has nothing. He has to prove that he's worthy of that tribal chief spot. He has to beat The Rock for it. And then he beats The Rock, and then one big happy family. They're all happy together. Yeah. Where do you go from there?
Well, honestly, let's say that's your main. That'll be your WrestleMania 41 Night 2 main event. That's your big, once in a lifetime biggest WrestleMania main event ever. Yeah, I guess Roman wins that to I guess coronate and put like a bow in his career almost. Then he just goes away for 6 months.
Yeah,
because where do you go from there? That's because he's been the champion. It'll end up being for nearly 4 years. Is like the champion, 1,400 days or whatever it'll be. Then he passes that belt on to the next top face of your company, Cody. So that's a tick. He put over Jey Uso in the process last year at Money in the Bank. Jey Uso pinned him. So that put over Jey Uso. I guess they'll put over Solo Sikoa sometime in the next 6 months in this whole storyline. And then eventually you have the big match against The Rock that everyone's been dreaming of. And The Rock puts over Roman. And then, that's Roman's career, really. There's nothing more for him to really do, right? So outside of the dream match in 3 years against Bron Breakker, once Bron Breakker's made himself a star, outside of that sort of stuff, and Roman's the grizzled veteran power, grizzled Joanna Y, and everyone will be loving him, saying nothing but great things about how much of a legend he was. When at the time, we'll go back to watch our 2023 podcast, and I'm saying these nasty things about him being a babysitter and all these, mean-spirited comments I was making. We'll forget that, pretend that didn't happen. And in 3 years, Roman will be the biggest hero wrestling scene. Roman single-handedly led to this new great era where millions are watching, and the TikTok clips of wrestling getting 5 billion views, and you got Rhea Ripley on on the banners at Times Square every day, and wrestling's the biggest it's ever been, and it's all Roman's doing. We'll get to that point in 3 years, but for now, make Cody the champion. Build your 1 year of build to Rock versus Roman for your tribal chief match, and who knows where we're at. But I think now, finally, after this press conference, pal, that seems like the direction. It didn't seem like the initial direction, pal, when Cody went off, literally, shrugged shoulders like a coward on SmackDown, being like, oh, well, I had a conversation. The Rock's just taking my spot now. It didn't seem that way then. When Brian Gurwitz, or whatever his name is, Ari Emanuel, walked into Paul Levesque's office and said, yeah, Cody won the Rumble 2 days ago. That doesn't work for The Rock, brother. That's not the WrestleMania plans. WrestleMania is going to be Rock and Roman. For WrestleMania 40, that's what The Rock wants. That's what we want. And then Paul Levesque was like, you idiots, F you. Now I'm going to get hate for this.
Yeah. Paul Levesque's where were you, bro? Where was The Rock when I had to face Roman? Because nobody else was here. Everybody was injured. And I had to dust off my boots and face Roman. Where were you there, Rock, to put over your cousin? So, what I do love about this press conference and the storyline is that it's unpredictable. And this story is already a million times better than the storyline last year. I'm still gonna stand by it. Cody shouldn't have won last year. The storyline was not there. This storyline is A+ 100. This is a storyline that we want to see Cody win. Last year, I heard somebody say this. I don't remember what it was, a YouTube channel or a podcast or something. Somebody was like, oh, the story last year was Cody being like, hey, I'm gonna step in here to Sami Zayn. Hey, you don't mind? I'm gonna take your shine, bro. And it was just Cody didn't really fit. They were telling this big, long, drawn out storyline of Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, and they blew that off at Elimination Chamber. And Cody slid in after being out for 3 months or 6 months, whatever it was, wins the Royal Rumble, and it's oh, this is Super Cena, bro. He won the Royal Rumble, and then he buried Roman, and then he's gonna bury every heel in the business for 8 months, and then in 10 years, people are gonna be doing shoot interviews about Cody Rhodes' babyface run, burying people. So I think overall this is the best way to do it. Making people wait, it's better. Babyface, you want to watch the babyface chase. The chase is better than watching the babyface conquer, in my opinion. Now, lastly, you want to do a recap on the overall everything else that we got for the press conference? I didn't see anything else. All I saw was The Rock, Roman, and Cody stuff.
Basically, I can sum up the women's portion with, Bianca Belair was there. They basically told us Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch is happening at WrestleMania. Basically.
Right.
Now, obviously, personally speaking, now that's obviously the match to do. I'm not at all going to be, oh well, it's too predictable. That Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch is the match to do for the
Yes.
women. That's
Yeah.
There's no complaints at all there.
Right.
It's just that obviously, selfishly, I'm jumping on a plane in a week and a half to go to Perth. There's like nothing really. This whole Perth show. Not that it's a joke. I'll still get to see my favorite superstars, pal. Well, I won't get to see Punk wrestle. Roman probably won't. Actually, then again, they might do Roman and Rock versus Cody and Rollins now, which that would be nuts. I want to say that. That'd be cool. So if they do a tag match, I'd like to see that. But from the women's point of view, yeah, they have like Rhea Ripley and Becky do a face-off. So basically, like they're telling you, okay, WrestleMania is going to be Bayley versus Io, even though none of them were at the press conference. They didn't even mention them. And then you're going to have Rhea versus Becky for the other women's title, which both of those work. No complaints on, my end from that. But yeah, that was literally the women's portion. Nothing as nearly as exciting as the men's portion, pal. Which, one more thing I want to say, WWE is milking the advertising on that Rock, Roman, Cody, Rollins, that like 20-minute segment they did. On the YouTube clip, Kevin, you try and fast forward or like go 5 seconds ahead every time, 2 unskippable ads every time.
I love that.
It is like, even people in the comments like, this is nuts. Like, it's normally
Nick
not
Khan
like
getting that advertisement money, pal. Shout out to Nick Khan. That guy is a shrewd businessman, pal. Give it up to him.
Bro, the CPM must be effed. Like, I watched like 9 ads trying to watch like 10 minutes of it. It was insane. You can't skip them either. I'm like, Nick Khan must be making so much money from this. Like, Ari and Manuel, they're like, oh, this is gold. Yeah. Count them in, baby. Like, I was in awe. But yeah, that being said, to sum up the whole event, the women's stuff, they pretty much just spoiled what they're going to do at WrestleMania. Sure, whatever. And the men's stuff, yeah, scenes, cinema.
Yeah, that was crazy. This is the storyline we all wanted. This is what we all had in our bingo cards for 2024, pal, when Cody threw Punk over the top rope in front of me at St. Petersburg. We all knew this would happen. We all knew The Rock would come back, shatter WWE's YouTube channel, dislike record, and we want Cody training. We all saw this coming, pal. This is brilliant. I mean, it's very predictable. So,
pal, this is that great like extra chapter in Cody's story, pal. When we go back in the end of the year and we're reviewing this and we're like, oh, we're 2.5 months away from the greatest dream match ever, Rock versus Roman, pal. The Rock's actually in shape now. He can wrestle he can do moves out nearly dying. We're actually looking forward to it. We're not hating The Rock during the build. This is great. Cody's been champion. He's got the Randy Orton feud. And he's doing all these feuds. It's really good. Oh my God. We're going to be so thankful, pal. We're not going to remember the time where Cody won the Rumble. Then a day later, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson played political chess as a board member, shut down Paul Levesque's best plans, as Paul Levesque has an investigation going on his father-in-law, which is causing Paul Levesque's 3 children to get bullied at school because their grandfather is a creepy weirdo. Forget that, pal. We're not going to mention that as part of what's going on now, year in review. We're just going to mention the fact that they are bulldozing towards 41, pal, and it is pulsating.
Wow. So I'll close with this. Since WWE likes to lean into reality, right? What if they did this, right? Because everybody on the internet is seemingly clowning Seth Rollins. They're like, oh, he's the fourth wheel. He's a cuck. He doesn't belong here. He looks like a clown. He's a clown. Why is he sticking up for Cody? What is wrong with this guy? And then they're leaning into, oh, Dwayne's on the board. They're already leaning into that. But what if they did a segment where, like, in the back, right? Like, they're like, oh, we're privy to an exclusive meeting between The Rock and Seth Rollins. This is behind the scenes. And The Rock is just like, bitch, give me that championship. I'm a board member. Here, have my name enshrined on that. Give me that title, pal. Like, go sit down. Go take care of your back, pal. I'm the people's champ, and The Rock just makes himself champion. Like that, I mean, it would kill Seth Rollins and all his credibility, but that would make Rock a pretty good heel if they did something crazy like that.
Yeah, and then the way you do it, well, to build on that idea, because I think that's hilarious. Like they do like a TNA 2012 hidden camera angle where, like, you see like Dwayne Johnson after the press conference, it's like Seth, yeah, I know I got heated out there, but give me your title. I'm on the board. What are you? Like, I don't respect you. Like, they're in the locker room, and you got Drew McIntyre chilling in the corner, and Drew's like, yeah, you're right, Seth. Like, he's right. You bitch. Give him the title. Give him the title. Do it. Do it. Do it. And, like, Drew's just like egging him on with it, wearing his like CM Punk gravestone shirt. Like, that'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? But
yeah, and then you have how you close that story, right? Is McIntyre wins Money in the Bank. CM Punk then comes back at SummerSlam, challenges Dwayne. Dwayne puts over Punk to get to, repay the favor that Punk did for him over a decade ago. Boom. Punk wins. Boom. McIntyre's music hits. Cash in. but Punk has a 10-second reign. Like literally, Punk's holding up the title. Like they don't do the garbage that they usually do, where the ref's like, "Do you want me to cash in? Do you want to cash in? Do you want to cash in?" McIntyre hands the ref the briefcase. He's like, "All right, ring the bell." 3 seconds in, Claymore. That's it. Like, there goes Punk's title reign. That'd be hilarious, bro. That's a great story. They could do that either way. Even if Rock is a champion, just have Punk come back and bury Seth Rollins, send him back to back surgery, whatever, and then McIntyre's music hits. Boom. That's great. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
And then they could
Then
do at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah, then you're Seth Rollins rebuild once he makes his return, and then he can go into like, yeah, okay, I was getting clowned. I held the world title for a year straight. I had a crippling, and you can like read off his injury list. I had a torn meniscus. My vertebrae in my back were gone. I needed urgent surgery. My shoulder would go numb after matches. Yeah, I was getting clowned on. I still held the world title with this company for a year and a half. Respect me, bitches. Like, he can like go off. Everyone's like, I respect him now. I don't know. Yeah. It's just great stuff, pal. I think it's great. I love that you mentioned how stupid the referees look at the Money in the Bank thing. They're running down, pal. The referee's like, wait, are you sure you want to cash in? As the wrestlers slamming the briefcase into them, saying, right now, cash in. And the referee's like, are you sure you want to cash in? Like, what is this? Like, I don't know. Anyway.
Garbage. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Instead of having like McIntyre beat Rollins at WrestleMania, just have McIntyre win the Money in the Bank. Punk beat Rollins at SummerSlam. McIntyre cash in. And then he can make a shirt with like, oh, I ended Punk's title reign. Like, here lies Punk's 10-second title reign, pal, in the grave. All right, but yeah, that's it from us, pal.
I loved it. Great press conference. Great stuff. They've resurrected it from the ashes, pal. The political chess looked bad there, but you know, logic prevailed. We love to say it. Thank God.
Wonderful, pal. Wonderful. We'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.